The plasmatic origin of the universe. The simplicity of universal creation. The origin of the universe is not a single, chaotic event, as postulated by the Big Bang theory. For him, universal creation is a process as fundamental and natural as the formation of an atom. Creation occurs through the division of the magnetic field and the disintegration of plasma on a cosmic scale. In this way, universes are continuously formed from the division of larger universes, following the same cycles of creation that we observe in daily life and in nuclear structure. This creation, unlike the chaotic explosion, happens with a long whisper. It is a slow division of the plasma of the parent universe, which expels its matter to ensure the survival of the whole, much like the disintegration of a neutron that creates protons and electrons. Chapter 1. The universe and its nonlinear expansion. For the nuclear physicist, the term universe means the combination of magnetic fields of different intensities. This implies a great truth: the plasma of a proton, a solar system, or a galaxy are created and operate under precisely the same principle. The unique and non-uniqueness: our universe is not unique, it is a small part of the unique, universal cosmology. The true expansion, the observed expansion of our universe is due to two simultaneous factors. Erster internal growth: the central magnetic fields, main MAFs, of our universe are unwinding, releasing more fields that give rise to the creation of new galaxies. Zweiter external attraction: at the same time, our universe is being attracted and guided by the gravitational forces of a sister universe or a stronger external gravitational field. This means that the movement of galaxies is not a linear expansion, but a complex, curved trajectory, where the universe seeks its equilibrium with respect to other external force fields within the unique. Ultimately, the size and position of a universe are dictated by the strength of the prime matter contained within its central line. The heart of the revelation lies in the idea that all matter in the cosmos is essentially the same, differentiated only by the strength of its magnetic fields. The spectrum of matter. In conventional physics, we speak of three distinct types: antimatter, dark matter, and visible matter. Keshe unifies them into a single spectrum of force. Erster prime matter, the ultimate force. This is the original state of creation, what science calls antimatter. Its magnetic fields, MAFs, are extremely compact and possess the greatest intensity. Due to this compactness, they create the strongest gravitational and magnetic fields, MAGRAFs. Zweiter transition matter, the medium force. When main matter begins to unwind, that is, its fields loosen and weaken through interaction with the environment, it enters the state that Keshe calls transition matter. This is what we know as dark matter. It is, literally, the phase where the plasma is in motion from the main intensity toward the intensity of visible matter. Dritter matter, the minimum force. After further weakening, the MAFs reach the intensity of the matter level and become tangible, that is, they become the matter and elements we know and see. Fundamental conclusion. There is nothing anti about antimatter, nor anything dark about dark matter. They are simply different degrees of intensity of the same magnetic plasma. A small portion of main matter, for example, 10 centimeters, can unwind and expand to become thousands of meters of visible matter in our environment. This release of magnetic fields is the source of the energy and forces that drive the continuous creation of stars and galaxies in the universe. This view drastically simplifies the universe: everything is magnetic plasma, and its properties are defined solely by the strength of its fields. Universal creation is a process as fundamental as the formation of an atom. Universes are not formed by an explosion, but by the continuous division of the magnetic field and plasma of larger universes, a process that follows the same natural cycles we see at the nuclear level. This creation, unlike an explosive event, happens with a long whisper. The plasma of the parent universe divides and expels its matter to maintain its own structural equilibrium, similar to how a neutron decays to create protons and electrons. Key concepts of universal plasma, terminology. To understand this vision, it is crucial to know the new terminology that Mr. Keshe uses to describe the actual physics of the cosmos. MAFs and MAGRAFs, the basis of everything is MAFs, magnetic fields. When these interact with the gravitational field, magnetic and gravitational fields are generated. Vital, which dictate the behavior and movement of all cosmic structures. Main matter, formerly antimatter. This is the origin of everything. It is called main matter because it is the source of all matter. The only difference from visible matter is that it possesses much stronger and more compact magnetic fields. As these fields unwind and weaken, they become the matter we can touch. Main star, formerly black hole. The centers of concentration of this main matter are what we conventionally call black holes. Mr. Keshe renames them main stars because they radiate the force of the main matter fields into the universe, seeding the plasma for new galaxies and stars. Transition matter and energy, formerly dark. What science calls dark matter and dark energy are simply moving magnetic fields that are in a state of transition or change in strength. They are the maps that lose intensity as they move from main matter to visible matter. Therefore, they should be called transition matter and transition energy. Chapter 2. Theory of the expansion of the universe and the truth about the non-Big Bang. Listen carefully, seekers of knowledge. There is data, yes, that speaks of the expansion of this universe. But the fundamental truth is this universe is not the only one. For the universe of man to expand, there must be a pre-existing space in which to expand, the space of the unique ones, unique universes. Our universe is only a small fraction of that universal cosmology. The true expansion, unwinding and external attraction. The expansion of our universe is due to two vital factors. Central unwinding, the main MAFs, magnetic field forces, of the central fields of this universe are unwinding, releasing more MAFs that give rise to the creation of new galaxies and entities. External attraction, strong gravitational fields outside our universal boundary are pulling on our structure and keeping it dynamic. This movement is not a simple spherical or linear expansion. It is part of the global motion of the unicos. Observe the galaxies, their motion is curved and follows the direction of the gravitational attraction of an external sister universe. This is necessary for our universe to find its equilibrium within the unicos. The heart and soul of the universe, the central line. Every universe does not have a central star, but rather a main central line of matter, MCL, and MAFs. The strength and quantity of these MAFs in this central line dictate the size of the universe and its position relative to other universes within the unicos. The maggrav force of this central line is what attracts and creates matter, galaxies, and all their contents. The total mass of the MAFs in transitional matter in a galaxy is less than 5% of the total mass of the central line and its main star. Therefore, the motion of galaxies is determined by the mass of the main MAFs along that central line, and by no other factor. This central line of matter and MAFs, which was ejected at the moment of its creation, dictates the magnetosphere, the sphere of gravitational attraction, and the mass of the entire universe. The Big Bang and initial heat hoax. To understand the creation of the universe, we must look at the smallest scale, the atom. Atomic creation occurs from the splitting of a neutron into a hydrogen atom, releasing the electron and proton plasma. Is there massive heating in that splitting? No. The same principle applies to the splitting of the universe when it was created from the decay of its parent neutron. There is no logical reason for the universe to have been hot or cooled down. Current assumptions that the first atoms were created when the universe cooled are incorrect. Atoms are created by the reduction of the magnetic field intensity of the main MAFs, not by cooling. The concept of heat is not observed in the splitting of neutron plasma. The universe, like the atom, always has continuities and parallels. The proof is in the WMAP map. This map shows a balanced and homogeneous heat distribution. If there had been a hot Big Bang, we would see cooler regions at the outer boundaries. The concentration of heat in the central disk of the WMAP confirms that the universe began from a central line. The universe is created from the inside out. The universe was not a great ball of fire that cooled down. It was created by the decay and splitting of a larger mass from another universe, such as a larger neutron. The universe is created from the inside out. The ejected main MAF is injected into a new area of the unicos. As these beams of light from main MAFs radiate outward from the central line, they reduce in its intensity. This reduction of force in the new environment causes the creation and transition of matter MAFs and, ultimately, matter itself. This release of energy creates the growth and expansion of the universal sphere. There has never been a Big Bang. The appearance of expansion is due to the unwinding of the main MAF, which creates the expansion of the universal sphere. This explains the concentration of gravitational force at the dynamic central line. The universal plasma and the fate of matter. Any entity, be it a galaxy, an atom, or a dust clump, can be created anywhere in the universe, provided the intensity of the necessary MAFs is achieved through the reduction or interaction of the surrounding fields. The universe shows an oval shape in the WMAP, not a spherical one, which confirms the existence of that central main disk and the flat shape of the mass flow distribution. The uniformity of the velocity of objects in the universe is directly linked to the release of the main MAF at the PULM. The expansion of the universe is dictated by the amount of transition matter and MAFs that are released and the speed at which the central line can maintain the total magravs of its structure. The creation of plasma and atoms is entirely due to the reduction of the intensity of the main MAF to the intensity of the matter MAF, and has no connection to heat or cooling. Temperature only dictates whether the manifested matter will be in a gaseous, liquid, or solid state. And one final point, matter moves according to the position of its magrav. The concept that time is linear and that the oldest galaxies are at the center is incorrect, because the movement of some components of the universe occurs at a speed that current technology cannot perceive. Chapter 3: The method of transporting MAFs in the universe. The key to efficient travel is shape. For matter plasma, whether prime matter, transition matter, or material, to travel at maximum speed with minimal loss, the spherical plasma must transform into an elongated plasma, which we call a beam of light. Imagine the spherical neutron becoming a cylindrical beam of light. As this prime matter travels, the transitional MAFs and matter within the beam relocate to the outer layer. This reduces friction and the loss of magravs with the surroundings. The light barrier and the cosmic melody. This interaction is the reason why the universe is dark yet translucent. It allows discrete light but makes it difficult to see the lights from external universes. There is light at all levels of MAF intensity, not just in the material world. Just as in the material world we hear the explosion when the sound barrier is broken, the same occurs when the speed of light is exceeded in a given environment. But listen carefully. This sound upon breaking the light barrier is not a simple explosion. Due to the spectrum of transitional forces, it is more of a sound of long, varied roars, a melody one hears upon crossing the boundary. The speed of light is always relative to the surrounding MAF strength and the amino acid structure of man. There are rainbows at every MAF level in the universe. The most powerful concept here is the transformation of spherical plasma into a cylindrical beam of light for travel. This minimizes friction with the environment by relocating the transitional MAFs to the outer layer of the beam. This is the key to efficiency in the universe. The physics of travel and the sound of light. Listen carefully. To travel in the universe, the spherical plasma of matter must transform into a cylindrical beam of light. This is not magic, it is field physics. It minimizes friction because the transitional MAFs move to the outer layer of the beam. This is what allows the universe to be dark, yet translucent. And when they exceed the speed of light, don't expect a simple bang. Upon breaking through that field barrier, what you'll hear is a cosmic melody, a long, variable roar that depends on the spectrum of MAF forces they are traversing. There is light and speed at all levels of MAF, and not just in matter. Chapter 4: How matter is created in the universe. Creation begins with gases and GANs, gas nanosolid state. In space, hydrogen and its GANs interact, and its most powerful magravs attract other rays of light. This leads to the creation of gases, liquids, and solids, forming galaxies, stars, and planets. Hydrogen gas and GANs are the dynamic fuel that establishes the magnetic fields necessary for the creation of celestial bodies. Nanomaterials and the GAN state. We initially revealed the existence of nanomaterials in the core of planets like Earth. Once the main MAF is reduced to matter force, these nanomaterials, in a GAN state, become the initial sets. Fundamental aspects of creation. The internal structure of GaNs and nanomaterials in nanolayers maintains its integrity, unaffected by the pressure or temperature of the surrounding material. However, GaNs is susceptible to radiation. This is why human DNA is so vulnerable to radiation, as the actual structure of its amino acids is composed of GaNs matter. GaNs is the state of light that has transitioned from a cylindrical plasma to a dynamic spherical entity. Its manifestation depends on internal gravity, not on environmental conditions. This is why we can observe the same element, say gold, in the coldest and hottest regions of the universe, without the solid atom actually existing, but rather its nanatomic form, or GaNs. Matter is created according to the MAF force of the environment and then appears in a gaseous or solid state depending on the pressure and temperature. Matter doesn't exist as you think, it's GaNs. Matter is an illusion, a manifestation of the field. The foundation of life, DNA, the heart of planets, everything operates in the GaNs, gas in nanosolid state. GaNs is the state of light. Its nanocrystalline structure maintains its integrity through its internal gravity, not through external temperature or pressure. This is why we can find the same element, say gold, in any corner of the universe without it needing to be a solid atom. The proof is in your own body. Human DNA is GaNs, and that is why it is susceptible to radiation. The universe is a builder that uses GaNs as its primary tool. Chapter 5: The Theory of the Disintegration and Division of the Universe. In the universe, every process has a parallel. Creation is no exception. This universe was created by the same principle observed in the division of neutron plasma into proton and electron plasmas. Our current universe, visible to humankind, was created from the division of a larger universe and is, most likely, the smallest part of that division. The reason is that we are following the pole of the larger part, the older sister, which makes it seem as though the universe is constantly expanding while external forces push and pull it. The imbalance of the mother universe. The splitting of a larger universe occurs according to the same principle as nuclear decay. The imbalance causes the opening and dispersion of fields into two new zones within the universe. Just as in neutron splitting, the new universe retains the characteristics of the mother universe, but the reorganization of magnetic fields gives it a new and renewed cycle of time. This is like giving birth to a child. The mother's age is irrelevant, the child has its own life cycle. The Big Bang and M11 theories are meaningless. If they were correct, every time an electron is created from a neutron, there would be a Big Bang. This belief demonstrates a lack of understanding about parallel entities in the universe. Due to the greater mass of its contents, the universe born from this universe could have much larger galaxies and stars. However, the beings within those universes, due to the greater internal magnitudes, could be smaller or base their existence on field forces rather than physical matter. Forget the Big Bang. The universe was born by division. The Big Bang theory is ignorance. In the universe, there is universal parallelism. If the universe were created with an explosion, every atomic division would produce a bang. That doesn't happen. Our universe didn't explode, it split from a larger mother universe, just as a neutron splits into a proton and an electron. Our supposed expansion is nothing more than the result of us being the smaller part of that division, and we are constantly being pulled by the gravitational fields of the larger brother universe. The division gives our universe a new and renewed cycle of time. Chapter 6: Man, his soul, and his connection to the universe. The fact that giant stars or planets possess stronger than expected Magravs forces is due to the multiplicity of magnetic layers and nanomafs in their internal structure. Man must understand, the structure of his body will not be destroyed upon crossing MAF force barriers. Why? Because the atoms of each cell operate in the GaN state of matter, not in the solid state. If the proton plasma of a carbon atom crosses a transitional MAF force environment, its transitional MAF components will be activated to interact with that zone. This means that the integrity of the physical body is maintained, but operating at a different MAF force level. Man can live in all MAF force dimensions of the universe. The soul-less universal connection. The physical body is like the Earth, it has mass and a magnetosphere that extends beyond ET. The soul of man is the external connection of the physical body's operation with the universe, it is a unique and inclusive link. All dynamic plasma matter possesses a soul. but man has the intelligence to allow his soul to interact with others. The total effect of the internal interaction of all the body's fields, atoms, protons, electrons, is what constitutes the human soul, or what we call the aurora. The common language in the universe is the basic plasma magnetic fields. The search for communication through sound waves is a primitive image. Once man can measure the base strength of the electrons' Magrav's fields, he will be able to communicate with the rest of the soul-possessing creatures in the universe. As it has been said, in the universe, I created man in my image. The soul, its universal passport. Man is not confined to matter. Your body operates in the GAN state, meaning that your atoms contain MAFs of all forces, matter, transition, and principle. This allows you to maintain your body's integrity when moving to another force environment. Your body is designed to live in all the force dimensions of the universe's MAFs. The soul is not a myth. It is your body's magnetosphere, the total effect and external connection of all your fields. All dynamic plasma matter possesses a soul. And its universal language is not sound waves, but the interaction of plasma magnetic fields. When you master this, you will be able to communicate with the rest of the creatures in the universe. Your soul is your universal passport. Chapter 7: The creation of gravity in the universe. Current science says that gravity created matter, but the reality is the other way around. Gravity is a consequence of the interaction of magnetic fields. The content of the new universe is nothing more than a mixture of plasma magnetic fields of varying intensity. Attraction: the attractive fields resulting from magnetic interaction become the forces of gravitational fields, Magravs. Repulsion: the repulsive forces become magnetic fields. This interaction is always contained within a sphere, resulting in the spherical shapes of all entities in the universe, from the neutron to the universe itself. Gravity is created by natural laws due to the interaction of two opposing polarities of two magnetic fields. The force of the resulting new field expands, creating an area of influence that attracts other fields. This compactness and force is gravity, which in turn generates visible and invisible matter. Humanity must understand that what it observes as physical matter is only a fraction of the total content of the universe. There are other forms of matter that we will come to understand as our intellectual capacities expand. Gravity is a consequence, not a cause. Let's reverse the roles. Gravity is not the driving force, it is the consequence of the interaction of fields. The universe began with a mixture of plasma magnetic fields. When these fields interact, they create two forces. Attractive fields become gravity. Repulsive fields become magnetism. This interaction, when completed, gives rise to the spherical shapes in the universe. Gravity is the natural result of the interaction of two opposing magnetic polarities. What humanity sees as physical matter is only a fraction. The true universe is a vast content of matter created by these gravitational forces that you yourselves generate. Chapter 8: Understanding the realities of the universe and their consequences. Listen. Scientists talk about dark energy and antimatter. These terms are nothing more than a reflection of their ignorance. They are labels for what they cannot yet explain. I give you the truth. The reality of the universe is divided into main matter, transition matter, and matter, what you see. These are the ranges of the intensity of plasma magnetic fields. The triad of cosmic force. Erster principle matter, antimatter. These are the strongest fields. Imagine the stars in the universe. Their interaction leads to the creation of principle matter, which are real physical entities and have been unknown to humankind until now. Zweiter transition matter, dark energy. These are the fields that are in perfect equilibrium between the strength of principle matter and visible matter. Because they are in this dynamic equilibrium, they do not create visible light when they interact. That is why they are translucent, dark, and give the appearance of a darkness to their surroundings. When these fields move, they generate transition energy, which you mysteriously call dark energy. Dritter matter, visible matter. These are the weakest plasma fields, whose intensity corresponds to the range of human plasma protein, making them tangible and detectable by humans. In summary, main matter is like the sun of the universe, transition matter is the field that moves between the forces, and the fields of matter are the planets. There is no mystery, only a lack of knowledge. The black hole and the main star, Pullen. The order of the fields is maintained at all scales. The center of your galaxies, the entity you call the black hole, is nothing more than the main star composed solely of magnetic fields of main matter and covered by transition fields. This dark region is due to the transition equilibrium between the moving fields. The immense attraction you observe, which seems to devour everything, is due to the strength of the gravitational field of this central main matter. It is not that the main star absorbs everything, it is its gravitational field that attracts. The size of this main star is the combination of the magrav's forces of its main matter content. Dynamic equilibrium and main storms. The main star is constantly drawing material out. But when the gravity of the absorbed main matter exceeds its magnetic fields, it has to release material to regain equilibrium. This is the point where main stars expel massive fields and matter without causing the universe to split. These massive releases, which are like solar storms on a universal scale, disrupt the balance of the universe and can lead to the sudden creation of new galaxies, stars, and masses. It is a continuous rebalancing process. The main star of the universe expels, and the main stars of the galaxies absorb some of that excess to maintain their own stability. The deceptive light and the balance of duality. The main star attracts light because light is an entity with gravitational and magnetic fields and has its own mass. Main matter is much stronger than the MAFs of light. It is normal for the weaker field to be attracted by the stronger one. But here's the hypocrisy you don't see: the major stars also cast much brighter lights, on the order of magnitude of the major MAFs, which are invisible to the human eye. That's why you only see one-way traffic, you don't see the true nature of duality and the balance of creation. The universe will never run out of energy. The assumption that the universe will run out of energy, cool down, or expand into nothingness is another fallacy. The universe will disintegrate into smaller universes when it loses its balance, but universal gravitation will never disappear as long as two or more magnetic fields are interacting. The process can always restart. The concept that the universe was hot and cooled down to create matter is incorrect and has no universal parallel. The WMAP observation shows a uniform heat distribution, parallel to what is observed in neutron splitting. The creation of gravity is due to the interaction of different MAF plasmas. The main star, the cosmic kitchen of fusion. Fusion doesn't occur through heat or collision, but through the amalgamation of fields. Main stars are the points in the universe where MAFs and weaker matter enter their gravitational basins. There, the fields are squashed and squeezed until they merge and reach the intensity and density of main matter. Main stars are the kitchen where main MAFs are cooked, processed, and manipulated. Then, through phenomena like quasars, these stronger, recycled fields are released to become the central point for the creation of new stars and planets. The final interaction of matter and main matter. Here's another glaring error in your science. When matter, the weakest and most insignificant part, comes into contact with main matter, the antimatter, they don't destroy each other. It's hypocritical thinking. If the Earth were absorbed by the sun would disappear. Only the main matter would remain, with the addition of the MAF content from the matter that collided with ET. The largest and strongest entity absorbs and adds, it is not annihilated. The structure of the main star is main matter at the center, surrounded by transition matter, and finally, visible matter. The multilayer and the cosmic order, the scent. Pay attention. The force of an object, from a planet to a main star, is exacerbated and magnified by the multilayer of MAFs and matter. This multilayer, especially when in a Gantt state or in a combination of different MAF strengths, causes an increase in magravs, magnetic and gravitational fields. When gases reach a specific structural lattice, they change their properties from dimensionless plasma to what is known as the order or the dimension of their MAF strength. Every galaxy and every universe has its own unique order. This is due to the Gantt structures they create or can attach to. The same element doesn't smell the same in every corner of the universe. You can smell prime matter. You just need to train your senses. Fusion is constant, not a collapse. The idea that iron is the fusion limit and that its production collapses the star and marks its end is a complete fallacy. It shows a lack of understanding of prime matter movement. Continuous fusion. Thanks to the presence of prime matter at the center, the fusion process continues, producing heavier elements, even beyond iron. The stellar kitchen. Stars aren't waiting to collapse to create heavy elements. Heavy elements are created in a rapid process in the fusion centers of stars. And the heaviest materials, like uranium and prime matter, are created in prime stellar regions. There is no limit. If you understood the dynamic interaction of GaNs and nanomaterials at the core of stars, you would know that there is no limit to how many elements stars can create during their lifetime. Fusion in open space. Fusion is not exclusive to the core of stars. The fusion of elements can and does occur in the open spaces of the universe when the appropriate MAF force environment is created, without the need for tangible matter, heat, or confinement. Fusion is achieved through the separation and reamalgamation of different magnetic field intensities, not by colliding particles. Expansion, boundary, and division. The separation of matter, the expansion of the universe, is due to the repulsion of like magnetic poles of pentixis. Attraction, gravity, is what maintains cohesion. The universe cannot expand beyond its magnetospheric interaction size. Equilibrium. The mass of the universe is the balance between gravitational and magnetic forces. Boundary and division. If this universe loses more particle mass to its neighbors than it needs to sustain its existence, its equilibrium is disrupted. Instead of expanding into cold death or contracting into singularity, it will gently divide to find a new equilibrium. This cycle of division and fusion is endless and is the law of universal preservation. Dark energy, transition, is the vehicle. The cosmic background noise they detected is not an echo of birth, it is the constant noise of an active, living universe. Transition energy, universal energy, dark energy, is nothing more than moving PMTCIs that are decelerating from levels of main matter to levels of matter. The silent journey. This transition energy travels in near-perfect field equilibrium with its surroundings, creating almost no resistance or collisions. Therefore, there is no residual release of MAFs that becomes visible. That is why it is translucent and allows them to see stars billions of kilometers away. Superluminal travel, the only speed. The speed of light limitation is a lie in matter. It is true only if matter MAFs are used for transportation. The key is the main MAF. If you have the ability to create or capture the force of the main or transition MAF in your MAGRAV reactor, you can travel faster than the speed of light in the matter environment. Speeds millions of times greater. The speed of light in the main matter environment is millions of times faster than that of matter. The body feels nothing. Your body will not feel the difference, as the pentix of human cells contains the pentix of main matter within its structure. Final traveler's warning. If man understands the magnification of field force through magnetic layering, he will see that he does not need wormholes or fancy terms to travel. He will be able to travel at the speed of his Creator. The manipulation of multiple major matter centers in a galaxy system, creating multiple jump paths with differential direction, could allow them to travel across galaxies in minutes. But beware. The destructive power of these technologies is immense. One mistake and nothing will remain of the traveling creature, only its pentix. Peace is the key to this technology. Galactic shape and environment. Don't just look at the galaxy. Look at its environment. The shape of galaxies, their physical appearance, is due to the effect of other surrounding matter and entities. The environment is what allows and compels the object to exist within a given point in time. If you want to understand the limitations of matter and the internal MAFs of an entity, you have to observe its surroundings. The rapid movement of matter, such as that of an electron or a section of the universe, does not mean that the universe is expanding chaotically. This means the universe is internally repositioning its own MAFs to ensure its existence and maintain its MAGRAV's positioning relative to other universes.
El Language Universal de la Paz. Su aislamiento es un castigo autoinfligido. El hombre debe entender que los partículas fundamentals y los campos unificadores son los campos magnéticos simples, y que el funcionamiento del universo se basa en su interacción. Toda la creación ha logrado un método común de comunicación, la comunicación de campos universals. No es voz, en hay sonido, en hay alfabeto. Es el lenguaje del universo, basado en la fuerza de los puntos de diferente intensidad. Aislamiento impuesto. Su aislamiento de la comunidad universal es para proteger la paz universal. ¿Por qué? Porque sus pensamientos, basados en puntos que operan en su cerebro, son detectados y son como luz visible para otras criaturas. Ellos pueden ver y comprender sus verdaderas intenciones y su sed de conflicto y posiciones físicas. La paz es la puerta. Una vez que el hombre comprende que no necesita tomar más de lo necesario en crear división, aprenderá este lenguaje y podrá unirse a la comunidad universal de seres inteligentes. No se necesitan ojos para ver, sino inteligencia para comprender. El movimiento secreto del universo hermano. El universo visible se divide y, como en la división del neutrón, la masa más ligera sigue el movimiento de la masa mayor. Nuestro universo menor sigue el universo conocimiento, o universo hermano, a velocidades altísimas para mantener su posición, aunque parezca estático, en su espacio interno. En voltura de galaxias, se mapeen el movimiento total de la materia del universo, ver en una región que se mueve de forma arbitraria e independiente. Esta es la envoltura de galaxias que está conectada magnética y gravitacionalmente a la dirección de interacción de los magravs de nuestro universo con respecto a su universo conocimiento. La dirección de búsqueda. La dirección en la que se mueve esta masa muestra la posición exacta del universo hermano. Calor, frío y la barrera de Coulomb. Despierten. El calor y el frío en el universo no se miden a la manera de su física. Calor, puntos desenrolandos el calor es la medida en que la fuerza de masa de la materia pueda aflojarse para permitir la conexión. La barrera de Coulomb, su rigidez, es la misma propiedad que la magnetosfera atómica. Es la rigidez de las ecuaciones magravs del átomo. Fusión sin aceleración. La fusión se logra mediante la liberación o dilución de los magravs de los MFs y la materia, lo que facilita la mezcla y la creación de elementos más pesados. El calor es un subproducto que ayuda a la distinción de la barrera de Coulomb. No es la causa. Cero absoluto. El frío se explica como cuando el puntos de las materias se reduce más a la de la magnetosfera de la materia. El cero absoluto es el punto donde la transferencia total es cero porque los magravs ambientales están en un equilibrio total, manteniendo un movimiento cero de los magravs ambientales. Pero el plasma interno de los átomos sigue activo. El tiempo es una ilusión de campo. El tiempo no existe en el lenguaje universal. Es un fenómeno artificial en la Tierra. Definición verdadera. El tiempo es la medida de la fuerza de campo magnético, puntos, de una fuerza dada para superar una fuerza predeterminada. Depende de la intensidad del campo magnético y del entorno. La falacia de los satélites. La idea de que el tiempo transcurre más rápido al alejarse de la Tierra es hipocresía. Su factor de corrección en los satélites se debe simplemente a que la materia opera bajo diferentes intensidades de campo magnético y gravitacional en distintas posiciones. Se creen la misma intensidad de magravs en el satélite que en la Tierra, no necesitarán corrección. El límite aceptado de la velocidad de la luz y el tiempo es una ilusión de la comprensión humana. La luz es en sí misma una entidad de materia compuesta de puntos, que en el entorno de la materia principal viaja a la velocidad de esa materia principal, no de la materia tangible. Cuando la humanidad domine los sistemas de viaje basados en la materia principal, podrá atravesar el universo en segundos, haciendo que los límites de velocidad de la luz sean obsoletos. La fragilidad de la vida humana se debe a que estamos hechos de compuestos que pierden muy graves en el entorno circundante, limitando nuestra vida. La vida eterna no es física. Reside en los atributos de nuestra existencia en todos los universos de Dios. El tiempo no es una realidad universal, sino un estado de posición y posición. Es una medida de la fuerza de campo necesaria para superar otra fuerza. Y los rayos magnéticos de nuestro entorno son los que realmente determinan la degeneración y el tiempo de vida celular. El universo se mantiene unido por la atracción y repulsión del tix, que es el pegamento cósmico y la base de la manifestación de la materia, su llamada teoría de bosons. La materia se manifiesta donde se alcanza la intensidad de puntos requerida, iniciada por la interacción de campos magnéticos y plasmas. Los plasmas y la materia se posicionan y operan a través de polos norte y sur, atrayéndose y repeliéndose. Lo crucial es que el entorno es el que determina el límite, la magnetosfera, de un plasma y permite la reconexión de campos en cualquier parte. Este principio permite el cambio de polaridad sincronizado en las células y la tierra, y con este conocimiento, se puede controlar el tamaño y la intensidad del campo de cualquier plasma para crear cualquier materia, desde oro hasta aminoácidos. El universo nunca tendrá fin. No hay singularidades, en hay crujidos, en hay muerte fría. Solo una división perpetua y una fusión constante de campos magnéticos plasmáticos. La preservación de la energía y la conversión de una forma a otra es la esencia de la creación en todos los niveles. El universo es inherentemente un lugar de paz y justicia. El aislamiento de la humanidad fue necesario porque las demás criaturas ven nuestros pensamientos y su intención de guerra y división. La paz universal no es debilidad, sino la fuerza y la inteligencia avanzada de seres que no necesitan luchar por recursos. El hombre debe alcanzar la unidad y abandonar la guerra, porque las leyes del universo son justas y no tolerarán los viejos hábitos del planeta azul. La verdad, como ha sido prometido, brillará para toda la humanidad desde la tierra del león y del sol. Capítulo 9. La creación de la gravedad. El universo, desde el plasma hasta la galaxia, operado en dos fuerzas universales de campo magnético, plasmático dinámico, que deben coexistir. La fuerza de los campos gravitacionales, atracción, y la fuerza de los campos magnéticos, repulsión o magnetosfera. La hipótesis central es que la fuente de la gravedad y del magnetismo de un planeta, como la Tierra, son los mismos elementos y condiciones en su centro. Esta idea se ha validado con prototipos que replican la generación dual de magravs, campos magnéticos y gravitacionales, y han demostrado la capacidad de reducir el peso y flotar, confirmando que la interacción de estos campos es el principio correcto. Al estudiar la estructura interna de la Tierra, que Keshe define como un reactor geonuclear, con procesos de semifusión y fisión, se identifica el origen de la gravedad. Este surge de la interacción de dos campos magnéticos plasmáticos dinámicos independientes creados en el centro del planeta. El núcleo Carolina, el núcleo dentro del núcleo interno, la semilla de la Tierra, crea su propio campo magnético plasmático dinámico esférico. El núcleo externo, el campo ya conocido, posiblemente creado por convección o por las propiedades de su propia materia fluida en movimiento. Estos dos campos, separados por el núcleo interno sólido, intentan unirse debido a sus polos disímiles. La fuerza generada por este intento fallido de unión crea y mantiene el movimiento perpetuo de los campos, lo que a su vez hace girar el núcleo interno y, por lo tanto, el planeta entero. La gravedad es la atracción, el magnetismo es la repulsión. La fuerza del campo magnético, repulsión, es el resultado de la interacción de los campos que tienen similitud de polos magnéticos y que se repelen entre sí, creando la magnetosfera externa. La fuerza del campo gravitacional, atracción o gravedad. Es el resultado de la interacción de los campos que tienen disimilitude de polos y buscan unirse, creando la fuerza de atracción central. Por lo tanto, la gravedad no puede existir con un único campo magnético plasmático. Require la existencia y el mantenimiento de un segundo campo magnético plasmático dinámico. Esta necesidad de dos campos independientes es fundamental para todas las estrellas y planetas, sin importar su estado, líquido, gas, plasma o nanométrico. Mr. Keshe afirma que la fuerza gravitacional es independiente de la temperatura, como demuestra la diferencia entre la Tierra y el Sol, y depende de la composición dinámica de MAFs y materias de la estructura interna y el posicionamiento relativo de los dos campos que crean. La antigua teoría de la convección y el concepto de un solo campo magnético carecen de validez ante el conocimiento actual, ya que solo la existencia de dos campos puede explicar cómo un planeta puede crear tanto una fuerza de atracción como una magnetosfera que cubra vastas áreas. La materia solo puede encontrar su posicionamiento más graves en el planeta si puede ser atraída y repelida de manera equilibrada. Si su campo es demasiado débil o demasiado fuerte, no podrá mantenerse en el campo del planeta. Esta ley fundamental explica la existencia de diferentes planetas con distintas composiciones. El capítulo 9 establece el principio fundamental de que la gravedad es el efecto de la interacción de dos o más campos magnéticos plasmáticos independientes. Aquí está el resumen del fragmento final del capítulo 9. Manteniendo el estilo del señor Keshe y enfocándose en las implicaciones del concepto de doble campo magnético plasmático dinámico, SMAF. La gravedad como doble campo plasmático. La capacidad de un planeta para retener ciertas materias y no otras está determinada por la interacción total entre la fuerza de masa de partículas, puntics, de los campos magnéticos de la materia y el más graves del planeta. La gravedad es la fuerza del campo magnético plasmático creada por la interacción de los campos dinámicos dobles del planeta que influyen en las materias para que permanezcan dentro de su fuerza de campo gravitacional. Este entrelazamiento es similar a dos imanes acercándose, pero ocurre a un nivel atómico o molecular flexible en el plasma esférico de bucle cerrado de los cuerpos celestes. El control del universo comienza en el núcleo. Al replicar la estructura de los núcleos terrestres y controlar la cantidad de materia en ellos, se puede ajustar la intensidad de los campos más graves y, por lo tanto, controlar la gravedad de un sistema artificial. Para que una nave espacial se mueva, solo necesita modificar ligeramente su gravedad con respecto a un planeta, atrayendo o repeliendo mediante el posicionamiento más graves. La creencia de que la fuerza gravitacional depende únicamente de la estrella es incorrecta. La fuerza gravitacional de un sistema o galaxia está completamente controlada y determinada por sus planetas y estrellas constituyentes. Esto es similar a como el espín magnético del electrón determina las propiedades del átomo, a pesar de que el núcleo es más pequeño. Las variaciones en el campo gravitacional terrestre, depresiones o aboladuras, confirman que el planeta tiene núcleos compuestos y no perfectamente esféricos. Fenómenos como el efecto lavadora en el núcleo Carolina, debido al movimiento toroidal y poloidal de la materia densa, afectan directamente la producción del campo magnético plasmático y crean las perturbaciones observadas en el campo gravitatorio de regiones como el Sur de América. Newton nunca pudo establecer la fuente de la gravedad porque no comprendió que es una entidad que fundamenta el campo magnético. La gravedad se manifiesta por la interacción y atracción de dos cuerpos que poseen fuerzas de campo magnético plasmático dinámico. La gravedad debe redefinirse como la atracción entre dos cuerpos, donde al menos uno posee un campo magnético plasmático dinámico esférico doble y superpuesto. Este SMEF es la causa del movimiento rotacional del núcleo interno de la Tierra, que a su vez controla la velocidad de rotación de todo el planeta. El cambio de polaridad de la Tierra se debe únicamente al cambio de dirección del flujo de corriente en el núcleo, y no afecta la intensidad de la gravedad. El conocimiento de la creación de la gravedad permite producir sistemas que gravitan hacia la energía magnética plasmática de un solo elemento, como el oro o el uranio, para su separación o generación. Esto requiere una nueva ciencia de medición, el Sistema Universal de Medición Magravs, UMMS, que debe ser tridimensional y medir las fuerzas de los campos magnéticos entre sí, y no en unidades terrestres obsoletas como kilogramos. La gravedad es un atributo de un cuerpo con dos fuerzas de campo plasmático dinámico interactuantes, mientras que la inercia es el atributo de la fuerza magnética molecular colectiva de un objeto sin esa estructura de doble campo. La gravedad es independiente de la masa del objeto. La creación de estos potentes campos magnéticos plasmáticos se debe principalmente al movimiento de la nuclea dinámica cargada, el núcleo. Si la carga eléctrica es 2000 veces mayor que la del electrón, lo que explica por qué un núcleo tan pequeño puede dominar fuerzas de campo tan grandes. Finalmente, la creación de las fuerzas gravitacionales de un sistema solar o galaxia no difiere de la de los átomos o planetas. El principio de proporcionalidad se aplica en todos los niveles. SISE la misma proporción de volumen, MFY conditions físicas, se obtendrá la misma fuerza magravs, sin importar la dimensión del sistema. La gravedad y el magnetismo plasmático puevo. En astrofísica, las fuerzas de campo magnético son las que mantienen a las entidades separadas, mientras que las fuerzas de campo gravitacional son las que las mantienen unidas. El patrón de su distribución combinada se manifiesta como la magnetosfera de la entidad. Esta fuerza, denominada magravs, se conoce específicamente como campo magnético plasmático puevo, PMTIX. Se la llama puevo porque no puede magnetizar una entidad, evitando que todo en el universo se adhiera. Y, fundamentalmente, porque tiene la capacidad de atravesar el tejido humano sin afectar el campo magnético atómico y molecular de las células. Esta combinación de campos se utiliza para posicionar una entidad con respecto a otra, previniendo colisiones o separaciones excesivas. La dificultad de la ciencia convencional para superar la gravedad de la Tierra reside en no apreciar la conexión fundamental entre la fuerza del campo magnético y la fuerza del campo gravitacional. Las pruebas en reactores de plasma de doble núcleo frío han demostrado que la fuente del campo gravitacional y magnético es la misma. La interacción dinámica de dos campos magnéticos plasmáticos creados de forma independiente. Si un sistema artificial logra replicar este fenómeno, puede provocar las fuerzas de un planeta en lugar de superarlas. Esto permite el movimiento dentro o fuera de la atmósfera sin quemar combustible, poniendo fin a la tecnología de propulsión convencional. La gravedad en cuerpos esféricos aumenta a medida que uno se acerca al centro. La diferencia con el magnetismo sólido es que el geomagnetismo plasmático es dinámico, y require la interacción de dos campos independientes para existir y absorber campos de su entorno, asegurando su supervivencia. A diferencia del imán sólido, la continuidad reside en la estructura de la materia. La gravedad es un producto de la interacción de campos, y su poder es independiente del tamaño físico de la entidad, dependiendo únicamente de la fuerza de los MF que la crean. Capítulo 10. La creación de un agujero negro. Mr. Keshe inicia el capítulo 10 exponiendo su escepticismo sobre el proceso de revisión por pares en la ciencia, citando el caso de su artículo sobre los agujeros negros enviado a la Real Sociedad Astronómica, y la coincidencia con el anuncio posterior de Stephen Hawking sobre el escape de rayos de los agujeros negros, un fenómeno que su artículo ya explicaba. Por esta razón, la Fundación Keshe opta por la publicación directa del conocimiento. La hipótesis central de este capítulo es que los agujeros negros son el resultado de una secuencia natural de eventos y son tan normales en el universo como las manchas solares. Son simplemente la creación o el resultado de la interacción natural entre dos o más campos magnéticos pasivos, MF, o materia, en movimiento dentro de cualquier entidad dinámica. Los agujeros negros se creen por las leyes de la física para recolectar, reciclar y redistribuir materia fresca en las galaxias. Funcionan como los centros de reciclaje de desechos cósmicos. Aunque crecen y se convierten en depredadores masivos de estrellas y escombros, contribuyen a la salud de la galaxia siendo la fuente de los rayos cósmicos, los fertilizantes de la galaxia. La creación de un agujero negro se explica mediante un paralelismo con la colisión de placas tectónicas terrestres. Las estrellas y sistemas solares, las placas continentales en las galaxias, están en movimiento constante. Cuando dos o más sistemas se encuentran, sus campos magnéticos pasivos se empujan mutuamente. Los materiales de ambos sistemas se acumulan, pero sus MFs se acercan lo suficiente como para anularse o equilibrarse. Esto crea una región de campo magnético poivo nula o muy débil. Como la luz y el brillo de las estrellas se deben al movimiento de partículas cargadas a través de un campo magnético, la ausencia de un MF fuerte en esta región anula la interacción, haciendo que el área no brille y parezca oscura, el agujero negro. El término es una invención, ya que se reyes de luz débiles, pero la gran masa acumulada y en rotación en el centro, que ejerce una mezcla de gravedad y inercia, bloquea la luz exterior, dando la apariencia negra. Los agujeros negros son una condición temporal en el ciclo de vida galáctico, aunque duran millones de años. Constituyen el punto donde la materia viejecida su energía y se recicla. Al final de su ciclo, esta masa acumulada puede convertirse en el origen de nuevas estrellas y sistemas con una masa ligeramente inferior a la combinada original, una vez que los parámetros se equilibran. La falta inicial de un campo magnético poivo fuerte evita que la masa se caliente lo suficiente, permitiendo dar el salto y convertirse en una nueva estrella cuando las condiciones se vuelven adecuadas. La dificultad de la ciencia convencional para superar la gravedad de la Tierra reside en no apreciar la conexión fundamental entre la fuerza del campo magnético y la fuerza del campo gravitacional. Las pruebas en reactores de plasma de doble núcleo frío han demostrado que la fuente del campo gravitacional y magnético es la misma. La interacción dinámica de dos campos magnéticos plasmáticos creados de forma independiente. Si un sistema artificial logra replicar este fenómeno, puede provocar las fuerzas de un planeta en lugar de superarlas. Esto permite el movimiento dentro o fuera de la atmósfera sin quemar combustible, poniendo fin a la tecnología de propulsión convencional. La gravedad en cuerpos esféricos aumenta a medida que uno se acerca al centro. La diferencia con el magnetismo sólido es que el geomagnetismo plasmático es dinámico, y require la interacción de dos campos independientes para existir y absorber campos de su entorno, asegurando su supervivencia, a diferencia del imán sólido, la continuidad reside en la estructura de la materia. El agujero negro y el reciclaje cósmico. Agujeros negros, origen y función. Cuando los campos magnéticos pasivos, MAF, de las entidades colisionantes se anulan, el centro de la colisión se convierte en el lugar de concentración de los MDF principales y la materia. Esta condición puede llevar al nacimiento de una estrella principal con fuertes fuerzas gravitacionales. Aunque debido a la ralentización de los MFs de transición, esta región puede parecer inicialmente más oscura que su entorno, ya que no se crea la interacción de campo necesaria para la luz visible. Sin embargo, en el centro de esta región oscura, existe una fuerte atracción de materia hacia la estrella principal invisible. El agujero negro, influenciado por los campos de otros sistemas circundantes, Filtra reyes cósmicos hacia la galaxia, funcionando como una fuente de material nuevo para la galaxia, similar a las supernovas. Otro escenario en la interacción de dos sistemas es cuando la masa central del agujero negro crece tanto que supera la masa de uno de los sistemas creadores, consumiendo los escombros y planetas circundantes. Si esta masa no logra calentarse por la falta de un campo magnético fuerte, hereda una enorme fuerza de inercia y se convierte en un cuerpo masivo que atrae objetos, pero con un campo magnético muy débil más allá de su límite físico. Los agujeros negros actúan como depósitos de desechos cósmicos donde los elementos más ligeros y los EMFs más débiles se desplazan hacia los bordes. Cuando la fuerza más grave se debilita en los bordes, o hay una brecha en los sistemas más graves adyacentes, estos elementos más ligeros y los átomos despejados de sus electrones escapan hacia el espacio circundante como rayos cósmicos y polvo cósmico. Los agujeros negros son, de hecho, la principal fuente de rayos cósmicos y polvo en las galaxias. Agujeros negros, fenómeno temporal y flujo de materia. Los agujeros negros son una condición temporal creada por el cruce de sistemas de campos magnéticos plasmáticos. No son gigantescas máquinas devoradoras en comparación con el tamaño de su galaxia. Son como un embudo donde la materia entra por un extremo, se tritura y mezcla, y sale por el otro. Cuando un campo magnético paivo vecino se mueve o se debilita, se crea una brecha que permite que el material en el centro se libera y se disperse, creando las condiciones esenciales para la formación de nuevos sistemas o estrellas. Por lo tanto, los agujeros negros siempre liberan materia y material reciclado a su entorno. Paralelismo, manchas solares, agujeros negros solares. El mismo principio de la creación del agujero negro ocurre a una escala mucho menor en la superficie del Sol, manifestándose como las manchas solares. Las manchas solares se forman cuando los campos magnéticos plasmáticos dinámicos en la superficie del Sol interactúan, se cancelan o se equilibran, creando una región de muy poca fricción o luz visible. La oscuridad no se debe a una temperatura más baja, sino a la ausencia o escasez de campos magnéticos plasmáticos disponibles para interactuar con las partículas cargadas y crear luz. Al igual que los agujeros negros galácticos, la materia atrapada en las manchas solares es retraída por la gravedad del Sol cuando los campos colapsan y es expulsada hacia la atmósfera solar, causando llamadas solares. El ciclo de 1 años de las manchas solares coincide con el cambio periódico de polaridad interna del Sol. Los campos magnéticos plasmáticos internos, que son millones de veces más fuertes, se reposicionan, obligando a que más campos superficiales se crucen y se anulen, lo que resulta en un aumento regular en el número de manchas oscuras. Conclusion. Los agujeros negros son subproductos físicos naturales creados por la escasez o ausencia de campos de fuerza magnéticos pasivos, PMTICs, en la región donde se manifiestan. Son, en realidad, regiones que poseen todos los atributos físicos de un sistema solar, pero que no brillan por la falta de un campo magnético plasmático adecuado. Mr. Keshe propone un nuevo nombre para este objeto, que considera una gigantesca máquina devoradora y proveedora de nueva vida. Zabine, un antiguo nombre aéreo para una flecha de dos puntas. Comprender este fenómeno abre nuevas puertas para la futura exploración espacial de la humanidad. Heliosismología y turbulencia. El estudio de la heliosismología y las pruebas realizadas en reactores de doble núcleo dinámico confirman que la turbulencia y la rotación en el núcleo de un plasma, como el Sol, tienen un efecto directo en el calentamiento, la creación de corriente, convección, y la producción de campos magnéticos plasmáticos dinámicos. La helicidad es la medida de la torsión o nodosidad de estos campos magnéticos, más graves, y está directamente relacionada con el efecto dinamo turbulento. En los reactores de prueba, la creación de condiciones de agujero negro, interaction y annulación de campos, caso inestabilidad, incluso la destrucción de un prototipo, validando el principio de que una colisión de campos magnéticos puede detener o desestabilizar un sistema. Conclusion y nomenclatura. Los agujeros negros son subproductos físicos naturales de la aparición db a la escasez o ausencia de campos de fuerza magnéticos pasivos, TICs, en la región donde se manifiestan. Tienen el cuerpo y los atributos físicos de un sistema solar, pero no brillan. El nombre propuesto por Mr. Keshe para este objeto, que actúa como una gigantesca máquina devoradora y, a la vez, proveedora de nueva vida para la galaxia, es Sabine, un antiguo nombre aéreo para una flecha de dos puntas, pasando de ser un misterio. Chapter 11. The relationship between gravity, mass, and weight. Central hypothesis. The mass of an entity is the result of the interaction and deduction of its internal gravitational and magnetic fields, and is constant as long as the entity remains intact, atomically or molecularly. Weight is the numerical variation of the same mass when it interacts with the dynamic plasma magnetic double field, magravs, of an external environment, a planet or another object. Mass, gravity, and inertia. An object, plasma, atom, molecule, or human body, is composed of a collection of magravs of varying intensity. This collection determines its mass. Mass. It is the density of the plasma magnetic field of all the constituent elements and is intrinsic and constant for the object. Gravity. On a planet created by the interaction of two independent dynamic plasma magnetic fields in the central cores, it is the most powerful force. Inertia. On a planet, the collective dynamic plasma magnetic field of the atoms and molecules of the planet's physical body is constant, but weaker than gravity. Weight as a magravs interaction. Weight is determined by the interaction between the collective dynamic magravs, mass, of the object and the dynamic magravs of the planet, gravity/inertia. The mass of an object has different numerical weight values in different magravs environments. The reason a human body weighs less on the moon is that the moon's dynamic plasma magravs are weaker than Earth's, resulting in a weaker magravs interaction with the human body's magravs. Application in space technology. The principle of magravs positioning is fundamental to space technology. By creating and controlling magravs within a spacecraft, an object's mass can be brought into equilibrium with the planet's magravs at a given position, allowing for vertical takeoff or a fixed orbit without conventional propulsion. At the atomic level, magrav positioning explains why atoms fuse to create molecules. Their relative weight, interaction, is zero or in equilibrium. Chapter 12. Parallel Worlds. Origin of Duality, Body, and Soul. This chapter explores the existence of parallel worlds based on the structure of plasma. A plasma is divided into a proton and an electron, where the electron acquires an independent existence, a world of magnetic fields, despite being bound to its proton. This concept extends to complex matter. An electron exists in the atom in a rock, the rock in the soil, and so on. When atoms and proteins interact, for example, sodium in a neuroconnection, the interactions of their magravs generate new, complex fields that give life to the entity on two distinct levels. The tangible physical, matter in its known state. The parallel intangible, the fields and energy that make it part of a larger entity and which, once created, can exist independently. The soul as a parallel world. The soul of a living being, whether stone, animal, or human, is explained as a world parallel to its physical body, created by the interaction of associated physical magravs. The physical body is conditioned by the material world. The soul is independent of the existence of the physical body and is not conditioned by it, operating in a different realm of intangibility. The soul is conscious of the body, but if the body dies, the soul, like a newborn baby separating from its mother, remains connected to its level of existence and continues interacting with other fields at the same level, in a more dynamic, intangible dimension. Intangible creatures and future voyages. There are creatures in the universe made of MEF principles and matter force that can operate on an intangible level of existence, different MEF force levels. These creatures have the ability to transmute and become visible or detectable in different MAF force spectra. The soul of man is like the light from a star that exploded long ago. The light, the soul, is still visible, even though the physical star, the body, no longer exists. Understanding this parallel existence of matter is key to humanity's future space exploration. Chapter 13. The Universal Principle of Dividing Universes. Universal creation by division, addition, and division. The current universe, as perceived by man, is created by the same principles of addition and division observed in nature, such as the decay of the neutron into proton and electron. The visible universe is the smallest part of the division of a larger universe, the parent universe. The constant motion and apparent expansion of the universe are actually the result of our universe following the gravitational pull, megravs, of its larger sister universe. This rules out the Big Bang and M11 theories, as they lack of parallels in the physical world of creation by division. Just as in nuclear disintegration, each time a universe divides, the new universes retain the characteristics of their parent universe, but the reorganization of the magnetic field intensity gives them their own new time and age. The size and functioning of galaxies, stars, and creatures in the new universe are determined by the fields within that new structure, without direct interference from its predecessor. Man and the soul as universal connection. Man is part of an inclusive pattern of field movements in the universe. The physical body is similar to a planet. It possesses mass and a magnetosphere. The soul is the external connection of the physical body's activity in the universe and is part of an inclusive reality of interaction with the whole. It is the common denominator and link between man and all other creatures. The human body possesses its own magnetosphere, called the aurora, which is the total effect of the internal interaction of all its fields, including thoughts. This overall result of the fields of the human body is the human soul. All dynamic plasmatic matter in the universe possesses a soul, but humankind has the intelligence to control the interaction of its soul, making it responsible for its actions before other souls. Parallel universes and interconnection. Parallel universes exist, created from previous and future divisions, all interconnected and operating under the same fundamental principle, similar to the structure of electrons and protons in all atoms. The key to universal communication lies not in sound waves, but in the common language of basic plasmatic magnetic fields. Understanding and measuring the intensity of electron megravs could allow humankind to communicate with the rest of the souled creatures in the universe. Chapter 14. How would it end? The end of the universe by division. The end of this universe will be identical to its beginning. It will occur by division. As the balance of the universe's magnetic field weakens, it will disintegrate and split into two smaller universes, one smaller and one larger, which will remain connected by their original magnetic field forces. This is identical to neutron decay and other nuclear fission processes, maintaining uniformity in creation. There is no Big Bang, no doomsday, or no Great Rift. There is only the conversion and amalgamation of fields and matter. The smaller universe will revolve around the larger universe, remaining within its orbit, just like the electron with its proton. This makes it appear, when observed from the smaller universe, that the universe is expanding. This universe is not the original, but rather a fragment of a previous universe, and it will continue to divide in the future. The understanding that the universe exists and operates within humanity, and humanity exists and operates within the universe, completes the understanding of the purpose of creation. Chapter 15. Articles and conclusions. The text concludes with a list of previously published articles by M.T. Keshe, reiterating and expanding upon his body of knowledge. Airborne Reactor, a complete reactor design for space technology, based on an integrated magnetic plasma energy system that creates gravity protection and motion through field interaction. The seed of the Earth. The Earth's core is a semi-fusion, non-fission, atomic reactor composed of hydrogen and other gases/matter, MAF. The existence of an inner core within the inner core, the seed core, is confirmed, whose interaction generates the double magnetic field effect that creates the planet's gravity and magnetic forces. Magnetosphere, Its shape and intensity are the fingerprint of an entity and reveal the hidden mysteries of its internal structure. Correction of Einstein's equation of relativity. Einstein's equation is limited to very small masses and is not applicable to real three-dimensional multimagnetic and gravitational conditions. Saturn's rings. Their formation and behavior are explained by the Magrav's interaction principles. Death of a star. The death of a star, supernova, follows the same energy reduction principle as the life cycle of an atom, but on a much larger scale. Key articles by Mr. Keshe. Fusion and the origin of matter. Current versus interatomic fusion. Fusion scientists are working against the laws of the universe, making fusion energy a distant dream. Keshe proposes interatomic fusion, May 3, 2006, a simpler method where the electron is forced to fuse with the nucleus of its own atom. This produces smaller but manageable energy releases at low temperatures, without the enormous energy barriers of tokamak reactors. Magnetism and creation, January 8, 2005. Magnetism is the only thing the universe is made of. Matter is the result of the combination and interaction of magnetic fields of varying intensity. The atom and the universe. Atoms are created in the cosmos from collections of very weak plasma magnetic fields that cluster together according to the principle of their plasma magnetic energy, PME. October 11, 2005 and July 25, 2006. This suggests that the universe was created under normal conditions from the accumulation of these loose field energies. Nuclei, gravity, and reactor energy. Earth's core, April 20, 2005. Keshe's assumption that the Earth possesses additional nuclei to create gravity has been corroborated. A 600 kilometers inner core was scientifically demonstrated. The Earth's core functions as a semi-fusion reactor for hydrogen plasmas, not a fission reactor. Magnetogravitational force, February 5, 2005. The Magrav's force is independent of temperature and pressure if a homogeneous, buoyant mass field, PMTIX, is created. Energy balance, June 29, 2005. Plasma reactors are designed to have virtually zero heat dissipation. They can become self-sufficient and durable. Through proper material design, the reactor can even be cooler than its surroundings, absorbing energy. Reactor operation. The articles cover the systematic startup, June 9, 2005, and safety parameters, June 6, 2005, of dynamic reactors, emphasizing the prevention of plasma loss. Transmutation and advanced applications. Cellular life, November 28, 2000. For the life cycle of cells, transport and transmutation is analogous to that of the atom or the star, being slightly more complex due to the composition of their acids, but simple to control and replicate in principle. Electron-atomic welding, May 3, 2005. Molecular bonding occurs when atoms of the same material share an electron, creating a magnetically balanced molecule, PMTIX. Decontamination, October 10, 2005. Reactors can be used to recycle CO2, transforming it into H2O, pure water, and carbon, graphite, or diamond, through gravitational interactions. Structure under gravity, August 15, 2005. The molecular structure of matter is fundamentally different when bonded by gravitational forces than by pressure, a principle used to create nanomaterials such as graphene at room temperature and pressure. Defense and shielding system, September 4, 2005. Spacecraft can protect themselves from near-Earth objects, NEOs, using a high-saturation magnetic plasma pack. This technology destroys the incoming object at the molecular level, magnetic vapor, by saturating it with plasma magnetic energy before it can impact. Dark matter, January 21, 2006. Dark matter masses, MAFs, possess mass but no visible light, and their existence can only be determined by the weight of their hidden mass due to their internal gravitational field. Fusion and the atom. Current fusion technology is fundamentally flawed because it attempts to fuse large plasmas in a way that contradicts the laws of the universe. Keshe proposes intratomic fusion, a simpler and more physically realistic method, forcing the electron back into its own atom and fusing it with the nucleus, thus releasing manageable energies without the need for extreme forces. Furthermore, it is reiterated that magnetism is the origin of all existence and creation. Matter is simply the combination and interaction of magnetic fields of varying intensity. Cellular life and the structure of matter. cellular life is a cycle of transport and transmutation similar to that of an atom or a star, although more complex due to the presence of substances with their own magnetic structures. It is noteworthy that atomic and molecular structure changes radically if held together by gravitational forces rather than simple pressure, a principle used to create nanomaterials such as graphene. The Earth's core and gravity. Keshe's hypothesis from 30 years ago that the Earth possesses additional internal cores that generate gravity has been seismologically confirmed. These cores are a semi-fusion reactor of hydrogen plasma and are the cause of heating. The magnetogravitational force is fundamentally independent of temperature or pressure, provided a homogeneous, floating field mass is created within matter. Technology and defense systems. Magrav's reactors are designed to have negligible heat loss and can even absorb heat from their surroundings. A space defense and shielding system is described that uses plasma magnetic energy saturation to disintegrate incoming objects, comets or asteroids, into magnetic vapor at the molecular level, protecting both the spacecraft and Earth. Dark matter and creation. Dark matter possesses mass and an internal gravitational field, but no visible light. Its existence is not complex if understood in terms of plasma magnetic energy. Ultimately, it is concluded that the universe was created under normal conditions, beginning as packets of plasma magnetic fields of varying intensity which, upon combining, formed fundamental particles, atoms, molecules, and finally, stars and galaxies. Chapter 15. Humanity's Leap Forward. The knowledge is now available. We have moved from speculation to demonstration, understanding that the Big Bang and rocket fuel are only the first stirrings of our science. Now, with the principle of the universe's division and intraatomic fusion in our hands, the frontier is not space, but understanding itself. The challenge is to leave behind the mindset of scarcity and war. As Mr. Keshe teaches us, humanity's destiny is unity and cooperation in space. Thank you for your commitment and attention. Plasma knowledge is here to change the world. For the Hispanic group, it has been a true privilege to have shared this fundamental knowledge with the entire international community. The legacy we share. We have learned that there is nothing magical, but rather field science. The essence of reality is magnetism. Everything boils down to the interaction of magravs, which define everything from the soul to gravity. And that the solution to clean energy and interstellar travel lies in controlling these internal fields, not in burning fuels. With the humility of the soul and its field strength, we have integrated the essence of Mr. Keshe's teachings, that antimatter is not an opposing force, but the prime matter, the compact seed from which all reality emerges through the loving act of unwinding the fields. And we have understood that dark energy is, in reality, a transitional energy, a dynamic bridge that connects us all to the source. That's all, folks. For the Spanish-speaking Keshe community, it has been a true privilege and pleasure to share with you, in an organized, translated, and edited audio format, the three great works of Mr. Keshe. To you, Mr. Keshe, we express our most sincere gratitude. Your tireless work not only illuminates the physics of the universe for us, but also compels us to look into the mirror of our souls, where our true power and our inescapable connection with the Creator reside. Thank you for everything, friends. May the best possible understanding of Mr. Keshe's works accompany us. Good times. Many thanks. Happy life.